Sorry, Auburn fans. You might want to click on this video right now. Where do y'all want me to start with this crap show? I am bewildered, and I am confused at how many people are shocked by this. I don't understand why everybody's shocked. Auburn is one of the sorriest SEC teams in the entire conference, and they're a sorry team right now in general.
I think you got him.
You want what he's having?
No.
That's what I thought. Justice forgot them.
I'm sorry, man. I had to open up that video by showing y'all that. And it's not even a joke. It's true. Georgia is literally destroying teams and making them look like the worst team in the country. I want y'all to really think about this. Oregon just destroyed the 12th ranked team in the country in BYU. Wasn't even a close game. The score was way closer than it actually was. And Georgia doubled that against Oregon. I'm not going to sit up here and rant and rave on Georgia. We all know they are a scary, and I mean a very scary team right now. We kind of opened up this video in a random way. That's my fault. Let's get back on schedule with the regular program. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a blessed and great Sunday. If you're new to the channel or not familiar with this video, we're going to do the recap on week 3. It's rather simple, self-explanatory. We're going to recap the games from yesterday, which was Saturday. Most of you watching this, I would say about 80-85%, you were a big and avid college football fan just like myself, and most of us also know Week 3 isn't the best time for college football. It's one of those odd weeks throughout the year, and there's only about 1 or 2, maybe sometimes 3 weeks like this where you don't have the best slate of games. However, college football is still college football. It is entertaining regardless, at least in my humble opinion. The great thing about this sport and the reason it keeps us on our heels is because we know chaos is going to happen. We just don't know where. That's the best part about it. And we was so close to seeing chaos on Saturday with some major upsets. Unfortunately, they didn't happen. I'll say we started off with the top 2 teams in the country. Why not? Alabama and Georgia. Alabama, it's relatively simple. You play Louisiana Monroe. I don't care if the players play good in this. You're supposed to win. There's nothing to talk about. It was a cupcake. Moving on to Georgia and South Carolina, I was interested in this game for one reason and one reason only. Spencer Rattler. I don't even think you got to be a South Carolina fan or an SEC fan to be keeping up with this guy. I think everybody around the country wanted to see how he was going to do. I hate to say this, I think Spencer Rattler is definitely a humble guy now because he got humble last year. Seems like a cool guy to be around, but he's arguably been one of, if not the worst quarterback in the SEC. If you just look at the first 3 weeks of the season, he is the worst quarterback in the SEC. Saturday wasn't just a big game for himself, it was a big game for his legacy. He didn't have to go out there and play like Superman or even beat Georgia, but as long as he played good, he would have got some of that credibility back. And yeah, how do I say this nicely? From the minute they kicked off to end, it was a straight up butt whooping. Spencer Rattler was terrible once again. He's been terrible all throughout this season. Finished the game going 13 for 25, $118 through the air, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of those being one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. If you saw the interception in the first quarter, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what he saw in that play. I guess he thought the receiver was going to come back to the ball. It looked like he just threw it to the Georgia guy and didn't care. That was a turning point in that game. After that interception, Georgia, they just went on kill mode. I do got to say though, outside of Rattler, I am extremely disappointed in South Carolina as a football team. I haven't been hyping up South Carolina, but this is a program where I said, okay, they're building something. I like what Shane Beamer's doing there. And yeah, it's hard for me to say that now. It's just embarrassing. Saturday was a shame, and it definitely sets the program back. And I get it, I really do. I understand you don't have the kids to compete with Georgia right now, but this game easily could have been 100-0 if Georgia wanted it to be. It's the fact that Georgia dominated you in every aspect of the game. South Carolina, they didn't look good anywhere. Let's get a move on. This game we're about to get into was one of the games I was looking forward to the most. Oklahoma and Nebraska. And I know what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, why was you looking forward to Nebraska and Oklahoma? Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked that question. The reason for that is because there was question marks on both teams. Oklahoma didn't look too hot last week. They got the new quarterback doing Gabriel. Some people think he's good, some people don't think he's good. On the flip side for Nebraska, we know what's going on there. I'm not going to explain it. They got a complete crap show going on, and nobody knows what's going to happen next. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this one. To make it short and simple, it was the same thing with Georgia and South Carolina. Oklahoma looked like Georgia, and Nebraska looked like South Carolina. And I even tweeted this out during the game. Nebraska fans have my respect. I don't even understand why they show up to these games. I'm not even trolling. The respect I have for that fan base, it's immaculate. I straight up feel bad for the fans. But you want to know who I don't feel sorry for? The players. You got to play better. I could sit up here and rant and rave about this game. I'm not going to. It's simple. You got to play better. And why I think it's even funnier is because guess what? You no longer have that, oh, Scott Frost is the head coach excuse. What's your excuse now? Maybe you need to come to the terms with, y'all just suck. This is a pitiful program. And if you, as a Nebraska fan, think you're going to turn this around this season or next year, you're out of your mind. The problems at Nebraska are way, and I mean way bigger than Scott Frost right now, and I'll leave it at that. On the flip side, as far as it goes for Oklahoma, for those of you that are new to the channel or you didn't watch last year, this is one of my favorite football teams to keep up with. No, I am not an Oklahoma fan. I just love the culture, and I can't get enough of it. The energy the fans bring, what Brent Venables is doing there, it's so contagious. I could go on and on. I can't say enough good things about this Oklahoma football program, and look at how fast it turned around. Last year, everybody thought they were left out to dry. Lincoln Riley left, their quarterback left, and now they're already about to be a top 5 team in the country. This is a great prime example, and this is a life lesson. Sometimes things in life, they happen for a reason. Even at the time you may think they're bad, it's not all bad. Although Lincoln Riley leaving in the way that he did, it hurt at the moment, and I remember how bad it hurt these fans. It might have been the best thing that's ever happened to that program. I love me some Brent Venables. What a job he's doing there in his first year. Let me remind everybody, this is his first year there. Remarkable, remarkable. Going down a list here, I'm not going to talk about this game too much. We didn't talk about it in the preview because it doesn't matter. I predicted Oregon to win this game, and they did. Wasn't close. Bo Nix looked very solid. Much respect to him. Typical Bo Nix performance. He's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. No in-betweens. Let's take a look at this game, though, that was flying under the radar because it wasn't on national TV. Arkansas and FCS Missouri State. A lot of people didn't get to watch this game. I, however, did, so I'm going to let you know what happened. And I'm sure some of you saw this on ESPN. Arkansas was losing by double digits in the second half, 27-17. As you can see right here, they did win this game by double digits, 38-27, but I thought for a good bit they were going to lose. And of course, ironically, I made a video, I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago, saying that Arkansas was one of the scariest teams in the country. And of course, they lay this goose egg and make me look stupid. I still stand on that video. I'm not going back on my word. I think they are one of the scariest teams in the country. I think this is just a letdown game because they got Texas A&M next week. Ooh, what about that game, y'all? Arkansas and Texas A&M? I can't wait for that one, but let's talk about this one a little bit. Well, actually, let me go back on that statement. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but there is one player I'm going to tell you to keep your eyes on. Their running back, Rocket Sanders. His name is Raheem Sanders. They call him Rocket. He is special. Reminds me a little bit of Bijan Robinson at Texas. Whoa. Hold on. Did somebody say Bijan? I think they did. Bijan Robinson went off Saturday. I get it was UTSA, but he had 20 carries for 183 yards, just proving even more why I think he's the best running back in the country. What a lethal weapon, and I also predicted this game perfectly in the Friday preview. I said Texas, they're going to have a letdown game coming off of that mentally draining game against Alabama, and they did. You see the score 41-20, but it was much closer than that. Texas pulled away at the end when they got that pick 6. And here we go. I'm going to speak on this because it pisses me off. Why is Michigan State ranked? Washington blew them out of the water. The game wasn't that close. And, of course, I picked Michigan State to win this game just for I thought maybe they would upset them or prove me wrong. And, no, they disappointed me. And I don't even know how because I don't believe in them. Why is Michigan State ranked? How many times have we said this, and everybody agrees with this on the channel? If they was in the SEC, they would go 7-5 every single year. But since they're in their crappy and sorry Big Ten, everyone hypes them up because they beat a lot of these doo-doo teams. No, I'm tired of it. Do you really need to see Michigan State get moonrocked by Ohio State again, 49-0 at half, to unrank them? Why are they ranked? It really gets to me. Michigan State has one of the worst defenses, and especially one of the worst secondaries in the country. I myself right now can go out there and throw 350 yards against them, no problem. A lot of y'all don't know this. Matt was a pretty good quarterback in his day, and I'd probably say I could actually do 400 on them. Pisses me off. Unrank them. And another team that needs to be unranked right now is Florida. They look pitiful against South Florida. That game should have went to overtime if South Florida didn't miss a field goal at the end. Not talking about that too much. Anthony Richardson, he's not that guy. He's just not a good quarterback. He can't pass. Do you want to see how a guy can go from being a top 10 NFL draft prospect in week 1 to a guy everybody's laughing at in week 3? Watch Anthony Richardson. 10 for 18, 110 yards, 0 TDs, 2 INTs, a QBR of 11.6. Awful. I don't know who we saw in week 1 against Utah, but that wasn't the Anthony Richardson I've seen in the past 2 weeks. This kid's just not a good quarterback. And it sucks to say that. I hate to say it because he's a good kid. I think he's got a lot of talent and potential, but he can't throw a football. Maybe he needs to switch positions. Florida, I would not be feeling good about myself after that one. Speaking of quarterback changes, wasn't even going to talk about this game, but we might as as well. When is Clemson and Dabo Swinney going to come to the terms with and realize that DJ Ugabadoogie is not the quarterback you need? I get it, you won by 28 points, but the offense, it's just not the same with him in there. He's got to get out of there. He cannot lead them to a championship. They got to put in Cade Klubnik. I don't know if Cade Klubnik is good enough right now to lead them to a championship, but I know this, DJ isn't, so you might as well switch. I don't know what more to say. I've said that for the past 6 months, and I get it. I sound like a broken record player, but everybody agrees with me on that, except for Dabo, I guess. Last game to cover before we get into the crap show from Auburn, Texas A&M and Miami. I did somewhat predict this game right. I said Texas A&M was going to crush Miami. They was going to win 35-13, but they only won 17-9. So I was right on picking A&M, but I was wrong saying they were going to crush them. And matter of fact, if you look at the box score and the stats, Miami outplayed Texas A&M. And watching this game, I thought Miami played better than Texas A&M. The only difference in this game was that punt return fumble from Miami that led to Texas A&M getting 7 points. You take away that punt return fumble, Texas A&M would have only had 10 points, and Miami also missed 2 field goals. Nobody played really good in this game. It's just somebody had to win it. The A&M offense is still awful, only had 260 total yards. I mean, come on now. In 2022, how many games are you going to win only having 260 yards? Miami's offense had 390 yards, so you see what I'm saying. It's not even close. The biggest headline going into the game was a new quarterback, Max Johnson. Although I do think he is better than Haynes King, I still don't think he's that great. I think the stats and numbers are somewhat deceiving on him. He goes 10 for 20, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 INTs. QBR 46.7, which is right around an average of 50. Although you look at the box score and you're like, dang, he didn't play that good, you got to give a lot of credit to Miami's secondary. I thought they played awesome. Max Johnson didn't have anybody to throw the ball to, and most of his completions were to the running back and Aniyah Smith. You see it right here, 4 completions to Aniyah Smith, which is their star wide receiver, and the other 4 was to the running back. This was an ugly showing from both teams when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. I was somewhat disappointed in Miami's quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, because he's been getting hyped up. He's supposed to be this new and great NFL prospect. He was only 21 for 41. That's about, what, 50%? 215 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 INTs, QBR 57. I didn't think he played bad, but he was missing some receivers here and there. I am going to take up for him, though, because nobody was getting open. He was getting pressure in his face all night long. It was rough. Overall for the game, it was one of those rough and rugged ones. Somebody had to win it, and A&M gets the win. I am curious, for my Texas A&M fans, can you please let us know in the comment section, are you feeling good after this win, or how do you feel? I am so curious about that. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I don't understand how you can feel good about this team moving forward. Yes, a win is a win, celebrate that, but you didn't look all too hot. Finally, moving on to what I think was the biggest storyline from Saturday, the Auburn and Penn State game. Why did I say it like that? That sounds so corny. The Auburn and Penn State game. Let's just say it regular. Sorry, Auburn fans. You might want to click on this video right now. Where do y'all want me to start with this crap show? Whoa. Hold on. Let me start here. I am bewildered, and I am confused at how many people are shocked by this. I don't understand why everybody's shocked. Auburn is one of the sorriest SEC teams in the entire conference, and they're a sorry team right now in general. Why are people shocked by this outcome? I thought we made it extremely clear in the offseason that Auburn was going to be terrible this year, and they'd be lucky to win 5 or 6 games. Let me get that out there first. And maybe it's just people wanting to have hope or something. I get that, but for me, I knew this was going to happen. I knew Penn State was going to win this game, and I knew it wasn't going to be relatively close. Now, I didn't think it was going to be a 30-point blowout, but I thought they'd win by double digits. I say we start off here. Let's give credit to Sean Clifford, the 8th-year senior. 14 for 19, a $178 through the air, 0 touchdowns, 0 INTs, a QBR 68.4. Solid. He did what he needed to do. He impressed me. He played well, and that's good for Penn State because Sean Clifford, you know, he's either going to play really good or really bad, no in-betweens. Kind of the same thing with Bo Nix. He's either going to lose you a game or win you a game. He's not going to play neutral. But in this one, he was neutral. For Penn State, though, in the offense, I think the biggest storyline from this game is Nicholas Singleton. That is a freshman, ladies and gentlemen, and that dude looks special. I believe I'm right on this. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year in high school football last year. He's only a freshman, and already this year, with only 30 carries, he has 334 rushing yards. What does that mean? He's averaging over 10 yards a carry as a freshman. Against Auburn, he lit them up for 10 carries, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The dude looked good. Now, did he look good because he was playing Auburn? I don't know, but you can't take away what he did. On the flip side of the ball for Auburn, let's just take a look at the box score. Oh, man, the quarterback position, it is abysmal. Is it abysmal or abysmal? Something like that. It is abysmal. and it is bad, and it is ugly right now. I don't know what you do going forward. TJ Finley, we know he's not good. Everybody knows this. 11 for 19, 150 yards, 0 touchdowns to 1 interception, QBR 60. The other quarterback they bring in randomly, Robert Ashford, 10 for 19, buck 44, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, QBR 29. Let me start off by saying this. I'm going to take up for Mr. TJ Finley. It's hard to really blame that loss on him when he's running for his life the entire game. He had no time to throw. I don't care who you are. We saw it last year at Bryce Young. When his offensive line can't block, even Bryce Young looks bad, and he won the Heisman Trophy. May I remind you of that. It starts with the O-line. If you can't give the quarterback time, I don't care if you're Tom Brady, you're not going to look good. Although I don't think TJ Finley is the next Joe Burrow, I don't think he's terrible. I found this stat line, and I found it really intriguing. According to Pro Football Focus, TJ Finley was pressured on 15 of his 28 dropbacks. That means out of 1 out of 2 passes, he had pressure in his face. And the backup quarterback, Robbie Ashford, was pressured on 12 of 27 dropbacks, which is similar. It's about half. I don't think people were blaming this loss on TJ Finley. Matter of fact, I don't think nobody with a right mind is, but I do want to take up for him. He didn't have time to throw. He did have that costly interception that was kind of controversial, but that didn't cost them the game. They lost by 30. I'm not going to sit up here and try to play this blame game that a lot of fans do. The bottom line is, what I saw out of that Auburn football team on Saturday was a complete embarrassment to the rest of the SEC. As an SEC fan myself, I don't claim Auburn. Until they get their crap together, they're just Auburn. They're not an SEC team. They're kind of like Notre Dame. They're independent. They're just there. And you know what sucks about this? If you're an SEC fan, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Everybody now is going to say, well, oh, I thought the SEC was big and bad. We just had our Big Ten team come down there and Millie rock y'all by 30 points. Well, listen here, you idiots and bozos. Penn State is probably, what, the 3rd best team in the Big Ten? I think that's fair to say. And Auburn right now is probably the 10th best team or the 11th best team in the SEC. So yeah, you did beat the SEC, congratulations, but make sure you mention in there Auburn sucks. Y'all know how I am. I'm going to give you your respect and kudos, Big Ten, but legit calm down. If you would have beat a Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Georgia, and Alabama, yes, I would think that's an awesome win, but Auburn, come on, man. Seriously, we talking about Auburn. They flat out suck. Whoa. Hold on. Did somebody say sucking? I think they did. Speaking of sucking, you know who sucks? Bryan Harsin. I've told y'all since day one, and all I heard in the comments was everybody going, oh, Matt, give him a chance, give him a year, give him 2 years. No, I told y'all since day one. I'm going to remind y'all, I told you Bryan Harsin ain't that guy. You want to know why I knew that? I'm not some mythological creature that can predict the future. I can spot talent from a mile away. It doesn't matter if it's a coach, assistant, or a player. I know what I'm talking about, and I also know a guy from Boise State, he's not SEC material. Take that how you want. If you want to keep Bryan Harsin, it doesn't bother me. I'm not an Auburn fan. Y'all can be doo-doo cheeks for the next 5 to 10 years. Doesn't bother me. Go ahead. I'm an Alabama fan. Not many people are going to enjoy watching Auburn beat crap and lose more than myself. I love it. I love watching Auburn lose. So the best thing for me, in the best case scenario, would be for y'all to keep Harsin. I'm trying to do y'all a favor and tell you to get rid of him right now. The longer you keep this clown of a head coach with that program right now, is the longer it's going to be terrible, and we saw the exact same thing with Nebraska. At least if you get rid of him right now, or after the Georgia game, you can try and start the rebuild. But as long as you keep them, you can't rebuild anything. It's the same thing with that girlfriend or boyfriend you know you need to leave. The longer you stay with them, the harder the breakup's going to be, and the harder it's going to be to get your life back together. Is it early in the relationship? Yeah, I would say it's kind of early, but I also know it's not going to work out, so why waste time? Let's take a look at Auburn's schedule. I haven't even looked at it. Okay. Fortunately enough, you got Missouri next week. After that, you got LSU. That's going to be a tough one to win. So best case in scenario, you're 4-1 heading into Georgia. You're going to get Donkey Kong, Bing Bong, Curve Stomp, Ping Pong, Strong Dong smashed against Georgia, so then you'd be 4-2. Then you got to go at Ole Miss. Then you got Arkansas. Mississippi State's a good team. Texas A&M, Western Kentucky, then Alabama. I think we can all agree you're not beating Georgia. You're not beating Alabama. I will give you a fighting chance against Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. And then, of course, LSU, Mississippi State, they're going to be toss-ups. So automatically, there's 4 L's on the season. And watching how they played against Penn State, why would I believe they're even going to beat LSU? Why would I believe they're going to beat Mississippi State? Or heck, why would I believe they're going to beat Western Kentucky? As it stands right now, Auburn is staring down the pit hole of a 5-7 or 6-6 season. Best case in scenario, you go 7-5, and that would be best case in scenario. And let me get this out there before I forget. It's not losing to Penn State. Auburn fans ain't mad about that. I know how it works. There's plenty of them from where I'm from. It's the fact and the way at how you lost. You can't do that. Maybe at Michigan State you can lose by 30 and keep your job. Maybe at Oregon you can lose by 30 and keep your job. Maybe somewhere else. But in the SEC, especially at Auburn, no, you can't play like that and expect to keep your job moving forward. It's not going to happen. Now, this was a big primetime game. This was on 2:30 at CBS, and you wasn't even competitive. Do you know what that does for the program and the university? Not only are people going to laugh at the football team, it's a bad look on the university. And if you think I'm wrong on that, I advise you to think otherwise. Do you really think a lot of these kids in Colorado, Arizona, Ohio, Michigan are going to watch that game and go, you know what? I want to go to Auburn. And I'm not talking about to be a football player, to be a student. No. But you know what is going to happen? These kids from Connecticut, Kentucky, they see Georgia, Miller Rock, Oregon on a primetime game. They go, hey, I would like to go to Georgia and be a part of that and witness that winning culture. It's much deeper than just losing one game to Penn State. You can clip this, do whatever you want with it, remember it, keep it in the back of your mind. I'm calling it right now on what's today. It is, sorry, I had to look at my calendar. It is September 18th, 2022. Bryan Harsin will, let me repeat this, Bryan Harsin will be fired. I don't know when they're going to pull the strings. I don't know how they're going to pull the strings, but he's going to be fired. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Auburn is a disgrace to the SEC. I am very curious. Let me know your thoughts down below, but right away, baby!